Welcome everyone to the Potomac River Jazz Club's Jazz Talk. I had the idea to do these during the pandemic shutdown as a way to support some musicians that weren't getting as much work in those days. And we have had so much fun with the programs and the speakers that we have just kept this going now for, I guess we started these a little ways into it, but about 4 years into it. Um, and the Potomac River Jazz Club itself is a small DC area jazz club that promotes traditional / early New Orleans jazz. And we have monthly concerts and monthly jams in the area that everybody is welcome to if they are around. And you can find us on the same Eventbrite platform. If you follow us there, it will tell you when we post new events, and you can jump on in and get a ticket. The fun thing with the jams is if you bring your instrument and play, then you get in for free. So that's a really fun thing to come to. In thinking of people to speak for us, we do a lot with local musicians and some of the New Orleans musicians, but I've been trying to reach out a little bit more. And when I saw Gunhild perform in January, I thought, ooh, I think she would be really, really fun in a talk. Because Gunhild, your love of jazz is infectious. It is absolutely infectious. You play all kinds of instruments. You do it with ease and with joy on your face, and you live and breathe it like it is in you. And so I think a lot of people would be interested to hear a little bit about what got you into jazz, but then also hear what your early trombone influences are and things that songs that you love of theirs. So I'm going to hand everything over to you, and anytime you're ready to take a few questions or comments, just let us know and we'll open it up for that. All right, go for it.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and thanks for inviting me. So, I'm going to talk about jazz trombone. And as you know, I'm mainly based in the New Orleans and swing. So, I go from the beginning. so, um, if you listen to King Oliver's Creole Jazz Band, it's so hot, it's so intense, and it's so good arrangements. And the trombone player there, it was Honoré Dutrey. And he plays, so it's very important as a trombone player that you support the chords, the chord progression with a counterpoint, or what, like it's called lead voicing, like so typical for Honoré Dutrey, if we have like, for example, Chattanooga Stomp. But the trombone, this was the melody, okay, but the trombone. So you do lines to support the melody and the chords at the same time. So the trumpet player plays the melody and it's very clarinet, Johnny Dodds. He playing so he was like if we say Haydn and Mozart, the viola, they always do they do baba do arpeggio around the chords like da da do da da do da do that is mainly was the clarinetist doing in in this in King Oliver band. They have two trumpet players, so they can play parts, Armstrong and Oliver together, and then the trombones support the chords all the time. And I can feel when I play in a jazz band that you build up the band so much. That is Honoré Dutré, and you use the slide to push the rhythm. Then comes, after Honoré Dutré, I would say Kirori, because he pushes, he do this, but he also push the rhythm. I'll just talk about how the trombone is in the ensemble. Then now we are still in King Oliver's Creole jazz band when the trombone often, so this old jazz has many parts. So it starts with A, and then there is a B part, and then comes the C part, which is like also similar to in classical music. You have something called song theme, or like you call it the trio part or something. And here often the trombone features the melody here. And that is what I would call tailgate trombone. And so when this is Honoré Dutré, and also the ensemble playing of Kirori. And then we have another band that was super popular in the 1920s, or in the 10s, and it was original Dixieland jazz band. They had a trombone player that his name was Daddy Edwards, and he was playing like in ragtime style. And so I would say, like, so Kirori is like this rhythm is very, like, I think that when I rap, mixed in with some Daddy Edwards ragtime. So J.C. Higginbottom, one super favorite, he plays more rough. And it doesn't sound so nice that I say rough, but it's more like energy and like That was a typical phrase from JC Higginbottom. Big guy. So we all know that this music is a New Orleans music, and it's like it's so old that we don't have recordings of the oldest, and it's originally an Afro-American music, and Buddy Bolden was the trumpet player that they say is the first. Maybe it's even older than that, but they say he was the first, and then after him, Freddie Keppard. And we know how Freddie Keppard sound. Fantastic trumpet player. Fantastic trumpet player. Armstrong and all this. But I would say the earliest and oldest trombone player that I listened to and am inspired by is Honoré Dutré. Kid Ory had a long life, so he played to 50s, and I don't know exactly when he died, but he played like very many decades. So with the riverboats, they came up to among a lot of cities, Davenport, Iowa, where Bix lived, Bix Beiderbecke, who was a genius. He could play Chopin when he was 3 years old at the piano and had perfect pitch, and and the gang around him, Adrian Rollini, Bill Rank played trombone, and they were very inspired by Debussy and Ravel and those like French impressionists. I am also very inspired, and like Debussy was my whole life for years. But and I discovered Debussy because I was listening to Bix Beiderbecke, and I heard that I liked Stravinsky and this impressionism and expressionism. So they added like impressionistic thinking into jazz and blues. In my eyes, Bix was the one who he was always played blue and syncopated. He was the jazziest, if you can say that. But the trombone player, Bill Rank, it's like he plays over a big range of notes and play over 9s and 13s. I don't know if you're into music theory, but it's like overlaying notes. So here is Bill Rank playing on Royal Garden Blues. So it's just a blues in B flat, but he plays like this. And with Bix played also Jack Teagarden and Tommy Dorsey. So Tommy Dorsey has this fantastic tone. I met Delphio Marsalis just random on an airplane. We were sitting by each other's side, and he said that was probably the best trombone player America had, because he could play classical music and he played at the opera and he could play jazz. And so I admire Tommy Dorsey because of his tone. It's vibrato is of course a very important thing. So you can do vibrato in so many ways. You can not like that. Sorry. I do it with the lips. You can also do it with the throat. Like I play this I don't know what you call it in English, but you do the vibrato with the throat, and I do that when I play recorder, but not when I play trombone. I don't know why it is like that, but vibrato is very important in jazz because you shall have your own, you must have your personal unique tone. So you can hear in one note, it's that musician, because you have a tone. That is, so tone cultivating is very fundamental. All right, so when we talk about Tommy Dorsey, we have to talk about Jack Teagarden, unbelievable trombone player. Little the same vibrato as Tommy Dorsey. The tone starts straight and then it ends with a little vibrato. Teagarden, he played with his family, and there are fantastic recordings where he played with his brother Charlie, the trumpet, and his sister Norma. I don't know, I don't remember the other names, but all good musicians. So significant for Teagarden is that he has a it's bouncing, it's so very light. And for jazz, if you ask me, swing and groove comes from that you are not too heavy. Like when you're dancing, you are not like walking like this. You shall, like, your whole body shall be light and up, and you like follow the notes. And Jack Teagarden, he has a fantastic swing. As I always used to play Lover. Oh yeah, so he makes a cadence as well. So that is Jack Teagarden, and I say, because I play for random people. I would say that my audience, they like jazz, but they are not especially into jazz. I played at the place, at the theater, and there came 400 people. And the owner of this theater asked the audience, why are you here? And what is your favorite music? And only 2 people had written jazz. So, but mainly, so I play for like random people. Random. I play for people. And I can say that all these trombone players that I mention here, their phrasing and their ideas go very straight and strong through to a person that never heard it before or is not especially interested in jazz. They think, oh yeah, I like this. I cannot take credit for it because I took it from somebody else, but I always say it is important to listen to those who invented this music, because every night I play at a new place, a new party is invented, and there are people come from the whole world, and they are all ages, all kind of people. I have to invent jazz, and I call it the Gatsby party. You have to invent this nice, happy feeling, a feeling of there. I'm so happy today. I don't have to worry or anything. And jazz has this feeling canned. Um, when you open up that can, you feel that 1920s feeling. There is no sorrows, no tomorrow. I'm happy today, sorrow free. And those who invented this, they had something. And so I mix and tricks. Back to Wilbur de Paris. Great. He played together with his brother Sidney de Paris, and they were touring in Europe. So I'm talking a lot about, because all these go back to New Orleans, but it went all over the world, especially in the 1950s, and in Europe they created something, a new take on it. I get there, but Wilbur and Sidney de Paris, they were a lot in Europe. Very hot and very energetic and so full of like ideas. So light, it's very blue and syncopated, a little rough, but very technical. I was not as technical as it is at Wilbur de Paris. But there is one influence that very much I love so much, and it's Jim Robinson. It's a lot of name dropping here, but they are heavy inventors of this. So that when they closed Storyville and all these things, there were a lot of musicians that they were spreading all over the world, and so in New Orleans I'm talking now. Bank Johnson was a trumpet player, and he had been out in a fight or something, so someone has punched him in the face and he has lost his teeth. We are talking now 1920s something. So he got sick of everything. He went out on the countryside in Louisiana and started as a farmer. But then when swing became a thing, and all those fantastic bands like Benny Goodman and Artie Shaw, Glenn Miller, and like when jazz was like too popular, it became so popular. like scientists and historians and journalists, they began to think like, we must interview the people who started this, and they were interviewing Sidney Bechet and Louis Armstrong and all these players from New Orleans. They talked very highly about Bank Johnson, but he had disappeared somewhere. So they found him. They gathered together money, and Bank Johnson, he could get new teeth, and they gave him a trumpet, and he started to play, and he started this Bank Johnson band in the 1940s, which has a big influence on Europe, because this fantastic band, it's so, I mean, Bank Johnson plays the melody like by his side was the fantastic clarinet player George Lewis, who played so sweet. He had a tone, and when I play recorder, I'm influenced by George Lewis because he played. Okay, I try to play George Lewis style now on the trombone. Okay. And people, when they heard this, they were melting. And now we come to the trombone player in this band. He played so, it was so groovy, if I can use that word. It was so swinging. And I will play his solo now on Ice Cream. No. I cannot miss his phrase here. What Jim Robinson is doing in the ensemble is, when they play ice cream, you scream, everybody wants ice cream, rock, come on, rock my baby, rock. Now we have sang 8 bars. He's pushing the whole band with his slides. Okay, so, but he plays like this. And now, and it's so powerful when you play in a band. I'm often accused to play too loud, but I can't hold myself back, because it's so much more, and it's so much, it like pushes the whole band. The trombone player has an enormous important role in the band, to push the rhythm, to create to help the harmony, and of course play the melodies and so. I have a watch here where, I paint, and when I press there, so now was Armstrong, and when I press there, oh, Fats Waller. So we can go over to the swing players. For example, tricky Sam Nanton. Duke Ellington, he invented a sound of his own. And we have this, and the trombone player there, he played with the mute. I'm not going to play with the mute, but I'm gonna hold my hand like this. So he had an like a pressure, and for example, I will play Maori. It's like the Duke Ellington and his Washingtonian, so it's like 1928 or something, 27, maybe so. And he plays on this Black Beauty. It's one of Duke Ellington's most classic. And here comes trigger sound. They invented a lot of sounds. Okay, so I see if I have any questions on that.
Hi.
I think there were several comments. We'll come right
Yeah,
to you.
let's go through the comments now.
Just that Dave Sager just said it was jaw dropping, which it was. Dave is an amazing trombonist here in the DC area himself, and then Seth Keibel, who's a woodwind player in the DC area. Do you know?
Oh, he's unbelievable! It's so
Well,
good.
well, and he
Plays
just said
out
that
an
you're.
instrument and so funny. Oh my goodness.
Well, he says that now you're imitating clarinetists on the trombone, so he's going to go cry in a corner now.
No. He is unbelievable and so funny. I was laughing, we are a little like, I don't know what it's called, but soulmates on stage, because I play this instrument and I play this instrument and then I take this instrument and then I play a medieval instrument and I go Renaissance and then I go back and talk about like Archimedes who created the formula for the trumpet. So it's so much. So you have to put it together, and I often use like humor, and Seth is doing that too.
I'm going to take a quick minute for a commercial break, and then we'll get some more questions from people. Um, uh, I
Hello,
didn't
Seth.
I didn't thank our people who donated earlier. I was waiting for more people to come in because they were still trickling in when we started. But special shout out to everybody who was able to help with donation tickets. We always want this to be free so anybody can come and listen to these great presenters. And we really, really appreciate those that could chip in and help offset the costs and keep them going. And a big shout out to Rick Whitaker, who also is a sponsor this evening. So let's get some more questions. Looks like Michael unmuted himself.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm glad to see the activity going on as usual, and always glad to support the activities. I see my buddy Dave Sager up there is in the house, and we we actually having a big celebration this week. I'm celebrating my 50th year of broadcasting, and I am playing the new Christmas CD on our radio station here in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, my Christmas CD.
Yes, and I'm playing the
Thank you
CD.
so much. Thank you so much.
Gunhild, I met you and I emceed for your performance at the Syracuse Jazz Festival this year. And I've had some problems trying to log in, but I'm a long time jazz DJ, and anything that I can do to help support, project, and share the idiom, I'm right here on this end looking forward for you.
I'm coming back to Syracuse. I had the time. I'm so glad you are here on this stream. Oh, we are having it's like El Dorado. I like it's so much happiness on Syracuse Jazz. I felt it. I felt so good. I felt so
Michael, did you have a favorite cut off? I mean, I'm sure the whole album's fabulous, but let's just hear, since you brought it up, let's hear a little bit about that Christmas CD.
Oh, you want me to make a comment on the CD?
I do. I want to hear your comments, and then I'd love to hear Gunhild's comments too.
Okay, I had some problems of late and haven't been able to actually get out there and promote it like I wanted to. But it's a great CD, and I'm gonna tell you the cuts that I recommend off the CD. That I can't get the camera to come up live and you know deal with the situation, but we are here, and like I said, I'm playing the CD on my show and promoting it, so it's an ongoing event here in Richmond, and we thank you for your outstanding talent, and keep up the great work.
what?
That's fabulous, Michael. Gunhild, tell us a little bit about the Christmas CD while we're on the topic.
So I had.
I lost the sound now.
Ah, there you are.
There you are. Yeah. So it's a famous Christmas song, but I have written one song of my own, one original. It's Winter's Day with strings and big band and like big business. But the others, they are recorded either with Carling Big Band in Sweden and with my family and friends in California. So it's my son on drums. I grew up in Sweden and we were playing non-stop, me and my siblings. So my brother Uffe, he's like an unbelievable drummer. An unbelievable drummer, like bam, bam. That's it.
I found my list. The tunes that I'm playing include "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," the standard Jingle Bells, Silent Night, and "That You Santa Claus." I remember
Oh,
that from the
That You Santa Claus.
original Louis Armstrong presentation that I played in years past as a ongoing Christmas. I'm glad that you included that in the recording too.
I love that song.
Yes, That You Santa Claus. I was on a Christmas show with like a Swedish singer who has sold millions of records, and he was doing a Christmas tour, and I was on this tour. Actually, back in the days, people thought that this sounds so weird, but he called and said, "I have heard you look like Marilyn Monroe. Do you want to join the show? Yeah, I can play
That
trombone."
you Santa Claus.
And I was playing, and he said, "Okay, you can have one solo number in the show when I go change my costume or something." Okay, so I did this. Gifts I'm preparing for some Christmas sharing, and I don't know what happened. People went totally wild every night. So he came in and had a new jacket on and was like, "What are you doing on stage?" I don't know, because I have a very good little like crazy song, because said you Santa
Santa
Claus.
Claus.
Yeah, I love it. But so everything that Armstrong has touched has like gold on it or something. It's like shimmering. So that's just a saying. I didn't find that out myself. It's what people used to say.
Beautiful. We have Dave Sager on waiting to ask a question. Dave, go ahead.
Hi. First question is, do you want to buy a trombone?
Depends on.
You know,
Self promotion.
I'm
Just
sitting
give
here,
it to her, Dave. Just give it to her.
I'm just amazed by your lack of inhibition. And I've been playing trombone for almost 60 years, and I've been working on being inhibited. It's like a hobby with me. So this is a great inspiration. And there's so much I would like to these are all my favorite trombonists too. And I spent a lot of time researching Tommy Dorsey and Miff Mole and those folks. But one thing I wanted to share.
Now I know what inhibition means.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lack of inhibition. I love that.
Well,
That's
I got to visit, spend an afternoon with Phil Napoleon, the great trumpet player from the 1920s. This was in the early 1980s. He had the original Memphis Five with Miff Mole and Jimmy Lytle. And
sorry for not mentioning Miff Mole. Unbelievable trombone player. Unbelievable.
he's my favorite, but
Favorite.
he's my favorite trombonist. But I just wanted to quickly just share this story about that style of playing, that that staccato tailgate manner of playing. And Phil Napoleon played me a record that he made with his band in the 50s. He had Kenny DeVerne in his band. It was a wonderful group. And all of a sudden, on the ensemble, the trombonist, who was Harry DeVito, started playing like that. And Phil Napoleon got very excited. He was in his 80s then. He said, "You hear that?" He says, "Don't tell anybody what I'm going to tell you." It was like he was saving it for a book or something. He says, "That's the real tailgate. That's the real tailgate trombone. And I'll tell you why." He says, "When you're playing on the wagon, on the tailgate end of the wagon, going through the streets with the cobblestones, you have to play like that to miss when the wheel goes over the cobblestones." Which I think was totally made.
That's true.
Totally made up. But anyway, this is just wonderful, and I'll let somebody else jump in with some.
Yeah, but I must say something about this style of playing. When I come to New Orleans and they play this, I often feel that I don't hear many trombone players play like this. Like whatever song they play, I say, and I feel like, wow, this is powering the band forward so much. And I feel how much. And it's, I don't hear it very much. I think I'm a little unique by playing this tailgate, like, but it pushes the band so much. It's a great invention.
It looks like we have John Skillman with a question also.
Thank you.
Hi, Gunhild. Good evening. I'll say hi to my friend Dave Sager, and I scoff at your 60 years and my 75 years of playing the clarinet. Well, Gunhild, what I wanted to ask you is your schedule. It's a killer. You play so many nights. Are you wearing out? Are you getting tired of this music?
No, but there are different things. Like, what shall I do else? Like, I spend time with my family. I play music, and don't say it to anyone, but the musician have to play. So that's the tragic thing. That, for example, I play at this restaurant in California called Nani's. And I can come and go as I want there. So that it's so good because the owner, he said, I can call and say, can I come and play tomorrow? Because I have to play. I have to play together with other musicians to train my timing and my, the thing. You cannot only practice the embouchure, you must practice the whole thing to listen and follow and drive at the same time. So it's a thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you have to play. That's the thing. You can only play, as a musician can only live.
Well, I totally can understand that, but every night, Gunhild, you're amazing. Well, keep it up. You're a great ambassador for our style of music, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions while we're at a question point? Questions or comments?
When you were making a comment about that style, it reminded me of the late great Lucian Barbaran, who's no longer with us,
Yes.
but he left a very nice legacy. David has played with him before in the past, and one of the old fellas that's still around is Freddie Lonzo.
I
Who's
was thinking of Freddie too.
Oh,
I
he's
love
yeah,
Freddie.
fantastic.
yeah,
I
yeah.
Yes,
have
Freddie's fabulous.
Freddie is still around, and he's still playing the great
unbelievable. I have taken so much from
New
Freddie
Orleans.
Alonso in his like how he do like this, how he support the band. He's fantastic.
Looks like Dave Robinson also unmuted.
Yes, hi.
Hey, Dave.
Gunhild, I heard you in New Orleans at Fritzl's in January,
I was with
and
Dave.
your neighbor Pritish Budrani is in my youth band.
Oh,
But
say hi.
yes,
Say
right,
hi.
I
I
will.
miss them so much.
But I've been teaching a youth band, a trad youth band for 36 years,
Can I
and
ask you
I know
what
you
city are
started
you
out in a family band when you were little, and those clips are just amazing. I encourage everybody to go find that on Google and look at Gunhild at a very young age, just tearing it up on the trombone.
Oh, we love it.
But my question is, can you tell us a little bit about that band, how long it lasted, and what became of all your family members?
So since I was born in the 70s and in Europe it was very much that so it was not so common that people were listening to jazz, but my father, he had like an imagination power that who could explain this is the greatest music of the 20th century. It's also the biggest style of music. It is as big as, for example, classicism or Palestrina or something like that. It's an invention that it will go hundreds of years until we hear an invention like this. Something like that. So I have always felt like this is, and music is the biggest power beside love in our lives. So this is the music. The biggest music is jazz and greatest blah blah blah. And um and um so I have always loved it. Then there were a lot of festivals in Europe from the 80s, 90s, New Orleans style, because New Orleans, what shall I say? What shall I call
The
him? George
birthplace of jazz.
George Lewis band, George Lewis, Chris Barber, this kind of band, New Orleans revival jazz, was very popular everywhere in Europe on festivals. But we played Fletcher Henderson, King Oliver, and Louis Armstrong Hot Five. I was obsessed by Bix Beiderbecke, but we didn't play so much Bix Beiderbecke. We did some I'm Coming Virginia, some Jazz Me Blues, but it was mainly more this Fletcher Henderson, King Oliver, Hot Five, and these things that we played in the beginning. And then we were never a George Lewis New Orleans revival band then. And then Armstrong took over, and in the 90s I was listening so much to Billie Holiday all the time, so swing, and this was this music I listened to. So we mixed a lot of styles. And then in the 90s began this swing dance movement where Sweden was very ahead. Like they had this camp harangue where people were coming and dancing all summer long and so, and we were there and played year after year after year. And it started out like more swing, like I wouldn't say in the mood, but more swing, ba 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 da ba da riff based music. there is, there is no difference between all this to be 100% true, but after all, there is a little different that you have to know about. So his swing is riff based, like ba-do ba da ba-do ba-do ba ba da-do da da da-do da da. People love to dance to this, and dance took over the public taste a little. So we played a lot of swing in the 90s. I moved from my home. I moved out 99, and I started my own band. To be a band leader, that is another thing. Oh my God, if you haven't been a band leader, try it. It destroys you as a musician, because as a musician, I just want to come with my instrument, have fun, don't want to think like, here, okay, I play the songs, I have fun, I love everybody. Oh my God, I'm having so much fun. As a
Amen.
band leader, you have to be there like before everybody. You have to see that the PA system is working. You have to have the arrangements, and you play that and you play that. And what key? Oh my God, what key? And then we change key when the singer comes in. You have to use your brain when you're a band leader. And you can never like relax, because my brother or whoever now is taking a solo. It's going so fine. What is happening next chorus? And a song shall not be longer than 4 minutes. Okay, so how shall we end this? You must have a plan. Actually, I don't like it, but if I don't do it, in general, musicians, like, they are not trained in like band leading, so the songs can be too long, and the arrangements, you have to like give it a sign, and so like, okay, break now, and so yeah. Very long answer. Did I answer your question at all?
No. I was interested in the family band that you played in with your dad and your mom and your brother. How long did that configuration go, and what became of each of them? Is your brother still out there playing? Is your mom and dad still around and playing, or what's the status of all those band members?
We played and played and played, and we have always played together. But my father has passed away in 2017. My mom is still alive, still going strong, like thumbs up. She's always happy. And I have 3 siblings. They all play. I started a big band 2005, and my family, they all went in and supported me. It was Gunhild Carling big band, and they say, okay, my father, he was writing arrangements. They all did all they could for me, so they have been behind me in everything, and we played with the family on the side, because we have been playing like almost every night, parties, and then we played there, and there's like something, and then the big band was going on. And then my father passed away in 17, and he wrote hundreds of arrangements. He wrote in a specific style. He liked Duke Ellington early, all kinds of Duke Ellington, but Jimmy Lansford, Louis Russell, this style, the big bands of the 1930s. He was also the person who told me about about Bix. He was his first, like, if you say God or hero, was Armstrong, but Bix is a genius, like a voice from a ghost or something. So Bix Beiderbecke is the genius, and he died so young.
He was a wonderful cornet player.
I found Bix or my father.
Your father, I'm talking about.
Both of them.
He was great.
Great trumpet player, and a great arranger, very good composer. So he said to me in my life that he wanted me to be a poet and a composer.
Unknown caller.
Yeah, he didn't actually wanted me to be a musician because he said you will be like you have to play on weddings and on like everywhere. He didn't see me as he wanted me to be a poet and a composer, mainly compose symphonies and like big things. So we all studied a lot of languages because he had an idea that the more languages you know, the more you will understand of the human beings, like inner voice or something like that. So I have studied Sanskrit and Greek, Latin, Spanish, Italian, German, Slavic languages, Polish, Czechia, and Russian. I don't speak it, but if I read it and I focus a lot, I can understand it. But French, English, Danish, everything. So that was what we were studying, and it was a lot of poem reading, Shakespeare and Beowulf. My favorite poem is Ovid, the Roman writer, because I love stories. And then my father and I, we were talking composition every day. So until he died, he said the last thing he said was, study romanticism now for 2 years. That was the last thing he said.
So your brother was a wonderful clarinet player, and he's still out there playing?
Oh my God, he has so many gigs. He's playing everywhere every day, but he's in Sweden, so
Yeah.
we play together, and I come back and I do I play in Sweden. I'm half year in America and half year in Sweden, and we play all the time. We talk today because he's setting up a big band show. Oh my God!
And your daughter,
and so
I heard your daughter Eden in New Orleans, and she's amazing too.
She's a fantastic singer, a good trombone player in the New Orleans style. So I'm very glad of that.
Yeah. And trumpet, like you.
She plays trumpet too. Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
sax. And she dances.
Thanks.
And she writes music as well.
A lot of talent in the family. We have John Stewart hanging out there to ask a question. What you got, John?
Hi there. Really enjoying your playing. It's fantastic. It's so free. I love it. I play trombone too, but nothing like yours. But I'm listening. It's very good. But I was very curious about your trombone. I noticed the tuning slide was all the way in. I would guess it's an older trombone. So could you tell us something about it?
I must tell you the most fantastic story. I have a friend, but I didn't know we were friends because we had one gig. It's Clint Baker. He's in San Francisco. And I wrote him several times because he's a legend. He's played and he knows everything about everything, okay? So I invited him to come and play on my live streams or on gigs, and he always said no. Always said no. We had no time. And then I said, okay, I wrote him and said, it's my birthday tomorrow. So if you want to come and have a glass or something, just come by my house. And he came with a cornet that has the best. And he gave me 2 cornets and 1 trombone as a birthday gift. And I was so in shock. It was the best cornet I've ever played. Ever, ever, ever. And then and then there went a couple of months and years by, and then one day a friend of mine said, "Oh, it's New Year's Eve tomorrow. Are you coming by? We will like something. I'm jamming and having fun like on a club." And he was there, and he said, "Oh, I thought that you were coming tonight, so I brought a trumpet to you that maybe I can give to you." And do you know what it is? It's a Selmer from 1957. Oh my God, the sound of this horn is so unbelievable. So, without just coming there and giving me instruments, he has changed my life and he gave me this trombone as well. It's a King from 1974. And it is a legend. And I'm a King trombone player. So, legend to be. And the mouthpiece as well. So I mean, you never know when you find your instrument, but someone gave it to me and it was a perfect pitch.
In the chat, someone asked, "What kind of cornet did you receive? What was
Yeah.
that amazing cornet?"
Okay, I go get now the horns. Okay.
Please do, please do. Oh, you're welcome, Michael. You're welcome.
Stated, first of all, thank Gunhild for keeping the flame alive and spreading this musical type of presentation all around the world. She's keeping interest high. And then also for the Potomac River Jazz Society for their ongoing effort to make styles of jazz available to the general public that are not usually available. And last but not least, I'd like to drop a little hint because I can remember the great music that he played when he lived in New Orleans, and he's a specialist in the klezmer style. So down the road, if you could set up a presentation where David Sager does a presentation on klezmer music, it'll be a great event for the Potomac River Jazz
Ooh,
Society.
we could maybe do that with David or with Seth, because Seth is a big klezmer player too. I'll look into that, Michael. Thanks for the feedback.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So tell us about this cornet. Yeah, or both of you, Dave. You're right. Yes.
Okay, so there is a leakage. There's a little hole there, so I have taped it, and so but I'm gonna fix it. But it's let me see. It's a Stradivarius. It's a Bach Stradivarius, Mount Vernon from the 60s or 70s. I don't remember, but so there is a guy in where I live who repairs instrument, and his name is Roland Garçon. Roland. He's unbelievably good trumpet player, but he was, he said something. I have to check it now, but in olden days they built trumpets and trombones with a different mix of metals. So the old horns, if it has more tin or more brass, I don't remember, but it was the most interesting speech I ever heard. I should have filmed it, but it was so interesting. But he's repairing my horns. He plays like in Maynard Ferguson style. Unbelievable trumpet player.
Nice. We also have Joel Albert on deck with a question for you.
John White also had a Mount Vernon Bach Stradivarius cornet back when I play cornet. It's a magic. Oh, no, wait until we take next question.
What you got, Joel?
This is so dear to me, this instrument. So I
Amazing.
Face itself. I don't even have to. Yeah, we had this other question. What was that?
Yes, Joel, what you got?
Two quick items and a question. One, your friend Clint Becker taught me for a horn player principally, taught me so much about playing drums. So we have a pal in common. And the other thing is my regret that I couldn't get to Baltimore for your performance last week. I couldn't drive. Oh, it was just now it's really driving me crazy. Um, but this is a personal item. What prompted the move after so many years in your home country to almost the other side of the world to California? It was a big move.
Yeah, California was my husband's idea because he
Uh,
he likes California and he's into tech, and so he's an engineer, and so I wanted to be in New York. You know, I I have always had a fascination for the American culture, the American music, and I have so many fans in America. So for me, like I just wanted to be in America for a little while, but then came pandemic and we were stuck, and I had the time of my life, and now I have so many friends and so many gigs and uh, everything. So I'm still feeling good here, and I go back for tours, and so, and also my kids started to go to school, and they have friends, and yeah.
you're comfortable there.
Yeah, you know, a bit of my heart, because jazz brought me to America, because still American language for me is the Great American Songbook. So it's holding hands at midnight, like this. Which is that I'm still not like American, and English is not my daily language. It is now, but it's still the poet language for me.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Did you have another question, Joel, or was that all?
No, thank you very much. I was looking forward to asking that question.
Great, great.
And I'll see you at Fritzel's next spring with the washboard.
With the washboard.
Kevin was not so keen on it because he said when you're playing, he said there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. He's so funny. Kevin Clark, trumpet player. He is a very good trumpet player. So, and a good band leader, actually. Often he just gives a little sign and the whole band's understand. But I have had so much fun on Fritzels. So much fun. It's unbelievable. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And I'll be there till now, St. Valentine.
Yes, I'll be there then, I think.
Wow!
I come in on the 13th, so I'll catch you on the 14th, I think. Yeah.
Big gathering in New Orleans around.
One more call for questions. We're about to wrap up. Any other questions or comments?
I can say I
About
was
the
just
new Christmas CD. It's still Christmas time, and the CD is a gift that keeps on giving because you can play it all year long. It never grows old. It doesn't, speak back to you. All it wants to do is be heard. So, pick it up and play it, and you can start with that That You Santa Claus, and it'll give you a real good introduction to the CD.
And Gunhild has a fabulous website that has you have a lot of your CDs listed, and a lot of your catalog and such listed on there. So I would highly recommend you visiting her website. And it's just, if I'm remembering right, it's just your name, gunhildcarling.com, right?
exactly .com or .net. And if you click shop, because you can order like signed merch, my CDs. So I sign them and send them.
Beautiful. Yeah. Great. Great. Well, a huge thank you for doing this for us. This was a joy to have you, an absolute joy.
I say something.
Please.
I was only halfway in my talking about jazz trombone, so we have to do another one.
Oh, we didn't make it through. we definitely could do that. We definitely should do another one. We would love to have you back in the future. We would
That's
love to.
Trombone part two.
Part
And
two,
I
exactly.
didn't even talk about all the European, the New Orleans, the inspired jazz, and Trami Young,
Right, you just barely got into swing, so we could do from swing and beyond or something like that.
Excellent. Let's do that. And then we have to do one trumpet talk as well.
Absolutely, we will. We'll schedule you on in there. And folks, again, thank you all for coming, and for those of you who could contribute to donations. The PRJC, again, we do concerts and jams in the DC area. We'd love to have you as members. PRJC.org if you want to learn a little more about us. And our next speaker on February 10th, we take a little January break, but Tom Roberts, stride piano player, is going to do a talk about stride piano in Harlem and during the Harlem Renaissance, and it sounds like it's going to be fabulous. Fabulous. So mark your calendars, y'all, and sign up on Eventbrite, and we will see you for the next talk. See you, Gunhild. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.